Documents described by Süddeutsche Zeitung show that Chancellor Angela Merkel and her cabinet pushed the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline project despite opposition from Central and Eastern European countries. The newspaper reports. They reveal for the first time how tenaciously Merkel and her ministers, including later Chancellor Olaf Scholz, pushed the project forward. Neither resistance from the Eastern European countries, Brussels or Washington, nor the despicable actions of the Putin regime could change anything. The documents revealed by the German newspaper show that Berlin, until the Russian aggression against Ukraine, consciously supported the construction and later the start of the Nord Stream 2 project, knowing that it would make Europe dependent on Russian gas, and this is regardless of the political option in power in Germany. Let's have no illusions. Both SPD and CDU are identical when it comes to trying to establish such political cooperation with Russia. This is a continuation of Bismarck's policy. This is an anti-Polish policy. Angela Merkel, standing at the head of successive governments, invariably argued that Nord Stream was simply a business project. She even said so shortly after a hospital visit to Alexei Navalny, an opposition figure who Russian services tried to poison. I don't think it's right to connect this business project with Navalny's case. In our opinion, Nord Stream 2 should be completed. It is a project run by Russian and European companies. Interestingly, the same narrative has been adopted, among others, by the deputy head of the foreign ministry in Ewa Kopac's government, Rafał Trzaskowski, who is the current president of Warsaw and a possible candidate of the Civic Platform for the Polish presidency. The issue regarding Nord Stream 2. There is indeed an initial agreement, an agreement of private companies. It should be made clear that it is not the governments behind it. Thank God. Rafał Trzaskowski is not a naive man. Rafał Trzaskowski is not a man who is unaware of reality. If that's the case, why did he talk about it being a business project? When Donald Tusk was Poland's prime minister and led the European Council, he reportedly opposed the German-Russian project. Donald Tusk supported German interests as president of the European Council. Moreover, before every European Council summit, he traveled to Berlin for instructions and met confidentially with Angela Merkel, but we know of no notes from these meetings. In the documents revealed by Süddeutsche Zeitung, there are references to the activities of Poland, ruled by the United Right at the time. We are aware of the political dimension of this project and are taking the concerns of our partners seriously and are not engaging in a discussion about preventing this project. That's right. The Law and Justice government has always opposed the German-Russian alliance, pointing out how dangerous it is to European security. At the same time, Angela Merkel's political ally, Donald Tusk, as president of the European Council, has not moved a finger to block Nord Stream. The released documents also included a reference to Berlin's alleged safeguarding of its neighbors' interests. If the interests of Poland and Slovakia are secured, all resistance should cease to exist. Germany can be said to have implemented Russian policy, the Gazprom policy, not only at home, because here they had an interest. They received very cheap raw materials, but they actually forced Europe to implement this policy to increase purchases of Russian gas. Former German Chancellor Gerhard Schröder, in his final weeks in office, signed a deal with Russia to build the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, and shortly thereafter, he sat on the supervisory board of the Russian Gazprom-controlled consortium building the pipeline. The current chairwoman of Germany's Federal Council and Prime Minister of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern also has ties to Russian Gazprom. Manuela Schwesig, with money from Gazprom, 200 million euros, set up a foundation, supposedly an environmental foundation, whose sole purpose was not to protect nature, but to bypass U.S. sanctions imposed on the investment. Now Manuela Schwesig, who recently welcomed a delegation of senators from Poland's new government in the German Federal Council, wants to come to Poland for the celebrations marking the anniversary of the outbreak of World War II. Radosław Jankiewicz, TV Republika.